When America was in the grip of the Great Depression, families struggled to put food on the table, let alone dessert. Sugar, butter, eggs, and milk were luxuries, and every ingredient had to stretch as far as possible. But out of hardship came creativity. People didn't stop craving sweets, so they invented clever, resourceful desserts from almost nothing. Today, we're going to look at 25 forgotten Great Depression desserts that once kept families smiling in dark times. Some are clever, some are strange, and some are surprisingly delicious. Let's dive in. 1. Vinegar pie. Imagine craving lemon pie but having no lemons. Families turned to vinegar, mixing it with sugar and flour to create a tangy custard pie. Surprisingly, it worked and it became a poor man's lemon pie. 2. Water pie. This one shocks people today. It was literally pie filling made from water, sugar, flour, and butter. When baked, it turned custard-like. Proof that even plain water could become dessert. 3. Depression cake, wacky cake. A chocolate cake with no eggs, milk, or butter. Mixed in the pan itself, it relied on vinegar and baking soda for rise. Believe it or not, it's still delicious. 4. Mock apple pie. No apples! No problem. Crackers, sugar, and cinnamon mimicked apple slices so well that people swore it tasted like the real thing. 5. Cornmeal pudding. Cornmeal was cheap, filling, and versatile. Sweetened with molasses or syrup, it became a warm pudding served at the end of long days. 6. Dandelion jelly! Yes, people made jelly out of dandelions. The petals were boiled and sweetened until they resembled a honey-like spread. What was once a weed became a treat. 7. Eggless oatmeal, cookies oats, stretched further than flour, and these cookies used no eggs or butter. They were chewy, hearty, and perfect for kids. 8. Bread pudding. Stale bread was never wasted. Soaked in milk, if available, sweetened, and baked, it turned scraps into comfort food. 9. Molasses candy with sugar expensive. Molasses became the go-to sweetener. Families boiled it into chewy homemade candy that kids loved. 10. Potato donuts, mashed potatoes mixed into donut batter, stretched flour, and created fluffy, filling treats. Fried when oil was available. They were a Depression favorite. 11. Prune. Prune pudding. Prunes were cheap and often sold in bulk. Cooked with sugar, they turned into a sweet pudding that also doubled as a laxative treat. 12. Mock banana. Cream pie bananas were rare and expensive, so families used vanilla pudding and banana extract to fake the flavor. Sometimes even yellow food coloring was added. 13. Steamed raisin pudding. Raisins were one of the few affordable dried fruits. Families mixed them into batter, steamed it in coffee cans, and created a dense, rich dessert. 14. Tapioca pudding. Cheap and filling. Tapioca pearls thickened with milk or water gave people a custard-like dessert that stretched far. 15. Apple brown Betty. Apples, when available, were layered with stale breadcrumbs and sugar. It was an early version of apple crisp. Using scraps most families had. 16. Molasses stacked cake. Thin cake layers stacked high with molasses or apple butter between them. It looked fancy, but every layer was made with the cheapest ingredients. 17. Cracker custard pudding. Soda crackers stood in for flour and thickened into a custard dessert when mixed with milk, sugar, and vanilla. Surprisingly tasty. 18. Mock ice cream. Ice cream without cream? Families froze milk, cornstarch, sugar, and vanilla. It wasn't the real thing, but on hot days, it worked. 19. Shoe fly pie. This Pennsylvania Dutch classic molasses pie topped with Crumsby came widely popular during the Depression because molasses was cheap and plentiful. 20. Rice pudding. Rice was affordable and filling. Families simmered it with sugar, milk, and sometimes raisins for a dessert that stretched a few cents into a big bowl. 21. Peanut butter fudge. Peanut butter was cheap protein, and when sugar was added, it became a sweet fudge treat that required no baking. 22. Cottage pudding cake, a plain one-layer cake served with syrup or sweet sauce. It wasn't fancy, but it gave families something to look forward to. 23. Cornstarch pudding. Cornstarch thickened, sweetened milk into a custard-like dessert. It became a poor substitute for egg custard when eggs were scarce. 24. Honey cookies with sugar rationed. Honey was used in simple cookie recipes. They were chewy, sweet, and lasted longer than other cookies. 25. Ritz cracker, mock apple pie. Perhaps the most famous Depression dessert. Ritz crackers layered with sugar and cinnamon baked into something shockingly close to apple pie without a single apple.